You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the Hot Take Hot Box. My name is Matt McSweeney. I am joined by Ty Capone. We are here to discuss, sorry for the delay. I know it is a Wednesday. We usually do these on Monday or Tuesday, but I was not in the area. I am now back. Back for good. Never traveling again. I'm just kidding. No, I actually enjoyed myself. So, but it was cold down there in South Carolina. It was not the weather I was expecting, but I had a great time. Ty, have you been holding the fort down? I know you were locked in on the UFC this weekend. You were locked in on the Eagles. I also was locked in on the Eagles. But how are you feeling? Demeanor is low when it comes to the Birds.
Yeah, you could say that. Not a great time around these parts, especially when people are like, "Hey, it's going to be okay." That's when I really.
Yeah, that's something that really triggers me is when you're overreacting. It's gonna be everything's fine. Okay.
Yeah. When women say, "Don't tell me to relax," that's kind of how I feel right now. I understand what they mean when they say that. So anybody that tells me to relax about the Eagles can kick rocks.
Yep. 2 weeks in a row, they take a 20-point loss, 20-point plus loss, and both of those teams being the probably one and two best teams in the conference. I don't think we can include. I know our record may say that, but I don't think we can include ourselves amongst those teams right as of now after these last couple showings. I know we beat Dallas earlier in the season, but the way our team is looking right now, the way it's constructed right now, it is. We got to be honest, right? I don't want to overreact, but I also don't want to try and downplay how embarrassing this is, because if this had happened to Dallas 2 weeks in a row, we would be laughing. We would be laughing at them and saying how much of frauds they are. So we got to be real about this. But Ty, Eagles, Dallas, Sunday Night Football. We wait all day long. I'm fired up for this game. Like I was watching some of the action throughout the league. It was good. The Chiefs and KC game, or Chiefs and KC, it's the same thing. Chiefs and the Bills was a good game. It was a great game.
Ravens game was wild.
The Ravens game was wild. We got all-time just meltdown by Pat Mahomes, which was great to see.
Love it.
What a play that was, though, the toss back to Travis Kelce. That was insane.
Kelce does that shit all the time.
Toss back. That's crazy.
Like shit like that all the time. I kept seeing people say that Mahomes was really angry at his receivers, but was taking his frustrations out on the refs because you can't obviously yell at your own teammates. I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe that makes sense. And then he kept going, had to be restrained. And then after the game, he's complaining. And I'm like, guys, I really think he's mad about his player being offsides and the refs throwing a flag for him being offside. I don't understand the logic there. It's funny because he's going to complain about that. Also, the note about Kelce, it's impacting his Hall of Fame career. It's like, okay, bro, now you're just obviously took too many shots to the head. But I love that he talks about that. But then basically, what won him the Super Bowl last year was a ticky-tack hold on Juju Smith-Schuster, courtesy of number 24. Nothing obviously to be said about that. So it's just funny how that shit works. But yeah, hey, great. One of the greatest plays that never count, that will not count.
Yep. Just another classic example of somebody being an absolute hypocrite when it comes to the referees and how convenient some calls are compared to others. But Ty, the Cowboys came out. They get the ball first, 10 plays, 75 yards, makes it look easy. I mean, we had a couple third down, close sort of situations, but all in all, it was easy touchdown to CeeDee Lamb to start the game, and they score on all four of their opening possessions, correct? It was 3 touchdowns, 1 field goal, and it was 24-6 going into halftime. Now, and this is something me and you have discussed on here, and you've made mention of it very much. We thought it was going to get cleaned up, but the turnovers have come back to kill them multiple times, and it's not the only problem, but it is the one that is very, very apparent, and we're getting fumbles from Jalen Hurts, fumbles from A.J. Brown. I think Devontae Smith fumbled at one point.
Yep.
So it's just it's all of the problems that we thought, all right, well, they'll fix this. They'll clean this up. This will get better. It almost seems like some things have gotten worse. And we thought that the 49er game was going to be the eye-opening sort of wake-up call that we needed. And it's just not been the case. So maybe, honestly, Ty, is this just who the Philadelphia Eagles are this year?
Yeah, I mean, all year we've hovered. There's so many different numbers and stats we could throw around. I think the most important one, in my opinion, the turnovers is definitely probably one or two. Right? I think it might maybe one, but my most important stat, or my least favorite, I guess you will, third down conversion percentage. Opponent third down conversion percentage. Last 3 games, 61% teams are converting on third down against us. All in all, on the season, I guess what were the Cowboys? They were 9-16, 1-1 on fourth down. Like, what were the Niners? 8-15. Like, that's easy work. Teams are making easy work. 13 of 22, the Bills were. That many third down attempts and that many conversions is wild.
Yeah.
That just shouldn't happen. The Chiefs were 8-17. We were 3 of 11 in that shit fest of a game. Even they, did what they want on third down. 6 of 15 Dallas was the first time we played. We were 7 of 14. But all year it's been a problem. And we are, at home, 52% teams convert on third down against us. At home, we're better on the road. Much better on the road. Last year we were at 38%. This year, we're at 48%. Do you know where that sits in the NFL?
It's got to be lower third.
Dead.
Right? Wow.
Last. And a pretty decent, not a huge percentage, but a decent percentage above the 31st ranked team, Arizona, and then Seattle, Chicago, Cincinnati, Vegas, Tampa. These are bad teams, bad defenses anyway. None of those teams are Super Bowl contenders, right? So that has to get cleaned up, man. We have to get some pressure on third down. We have to, bend but don't break. That was always the thing with this defense. Bend but don't break. Forcing field goals or getting a sack when teams are in field goal range to take them out of field goal range. Shit like that. It's not happening anymore. Teams are just walking us the fuck down. And like you said, they started the game off 10-play, 75-yard drive. First play, Tony Pollard pass, 6 yards. They just got yards
whenever they
every time, whenever they want it, pretty much. Whenever they need it, whenever they want it. We tried putting James Bradbury on every single corner they had. It didn't matter. Michael Gallup was making a mockery. Of this team on national television. If that's not enough to wake you up, I don't know what is. I mean, and then the fumbles. Those are just the Jalen Hurts one. He just took it from him.
Yep.
As soon as the defender put his hands on him, he lost the ball. It's kind of crazy. I don't understand. I understand, I need to be better, this and that, but he hasn't been. I think overall he was throwing dimes in the first half, I thought, but the guys weren't catching them. Even if some of them were a little tough, they still weren't bringing them in. Those are catches that Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown bring in, and they just weren't this game. And then they both fumbled. So, and then also, what did we do running the ball? Absolutely nothing. Again,
yeah.
People keep saying run the ball. I don't know if that's really going to work with this team with that defense. We're not running the ball well. Swift 11-39, Hurts 5-30, Gainwell 4-28, Scott 3-9. We had 100 yards as a team, but 4.6 yards a carry, and the longest run was 11 yards. So yeah, I don't know. The offense is sputtering, the defense is sputtering. And other teams are just, like Pat Bev said, licking their chops.
Yeah, and I think now the big problem is just them kind of losing composure, it seems. You have A.J. Brown who's screaming at Stephon Gilmore every 5 seconds during the game, which I didn't know these guys had a blood rivalry.
I guess he told him he was old before the game, and Stephon Gilmore decided to, turn back the clock, and he had a great game against us. So thanks a lot, AJ.
Thank you, AJ, for running your mouth. I mean, AJ didn't have a bad game stats wise, but a lot of those stats you can deem empty because it really didn't translate into much. And there wasn't, there was the one big play. There was another play that he kind of just dropped. The ball landed right in his lap, and he dropped it. That could have
right through his fucking.
That would have put them inside the 5-yard line. I think.
What a throw!
It was a perfect throw.
Like I said, man, Jalen didn't have his best game, but like that was honestly one of his better passing games of the season, and the stats won't show you that whatsoever because he got completely, what's the opposite of bailed out? Fucked over by his receivers. I keep seeing people saying like, "Oh my God, this offense! We need to get Julio Jones involved more. We need to get Quez Watkins.
Yeah,
we need to get Quez Watkins involved more." I'm like, guys, Quez Watkins played 25 snaps. Did you notice him at all in that game? No. 25 snaps he played, and he didn't get targeted once. What does that mean? He fucking stinks. He can't get open, right? Same with Julio Jones. These guys are not good. Olamide Zaccheaus, sure, he's a fine wide receiver 4, but like we don't have a number 3. A number 3 receiver is, might not be the most important position on the team, but it would be really nice when the offense is sputtering and you have somebody in the slot that you're like, all right, boom, safety blanket. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, somebody else. Like the Jags have 3 solid receivers. The Lions have like, a really good receiver in St. Brown and then a bunch of like average guys after that. Like teams in the league, I guess not many have a strong wide receiver 3, but my point is we don't have anything. We don't have another tight end we can throw on the field. Our running backs aren't the best in the pass game, right? Like DeAndre Swift, you give him the ball, he can make things work, but he can't block for shit. He gets run over.
Yeah.
Also, Lane Johnson, uncharacteristically awful game from what I noticed. He was getting pushed back. He was getting walked through and over and around. Cam Jurgens again struggled. The O-line's regressed. We don't really have that many options on offense.
Hurts had time to throw, though. I will say that because there was a couple plays where he was like, had a pocket, but I think you kind of made mention of nobody really got open, and
nobody got
a lot of their routes, like a lot of the schemes and just the play calls have just been like bland. There's not really.
It's like we're playing 7-on-7.
Yeah.
Like, hey, beat your guy, and I'm going to try to get you the ball. Like that's it. Look at how San Francisco. And even sometimes the Chiefs, maybe not now because they don't really have any skill position players, but the Chiefs of the past, like how they scheme guys open, some of the shit they do, we don't do anything. There's nothing we do. I'm not asking for trick plays, but like I want what the Colts do. Alec Pearson, Kylan Granson, Mo Alley Cox. These guys are getting schemed open and are scoring and getting deep long catches. That's Shane Steichen scheming guys open.
Yeah, our
guys aren't. We're not doing that. We're throwing to 3 guys the whole game. Goddard. Hurts, Brown and Smith. So, the offense has its own issues. I wouldn't say that's the issue, the main issue. It's definitely the defense, but 13 points. 13, 0 we had 1 touchdown, and it was from Jalen Carter.
Yeah,
so
they didn't score an offensive touchdown. I think, I would love to come in here and just slam the defense and be like, these guys are, which you can still do. It's very easy.
They scored on Dallas scored on every possession but once.
Every possession that they wanted to, they scored pretty much. And in the second half, they kind of were just like packed it in a little bit. Yeah, they were just like, all right, listen, we'll score when we need to later on in this game. We don't really need to.
As soon as we scored, they scored.
Yep.
Like anytime we did something, they'd be like, well, all right. Let's shut them up. Let's put our foot on the throat. So
and Brandon Aubrey's the greatest kicker of all time. I just found that out.
Dude, he was booming them fucking thing. They were good from 70, 75.
And right down the middle. Like it wasn't even like he could have kicked in the Arena Football League uprights and it would have been money every single time. So
isn't he from Notre Dame? Is that
Notre Dame?
True,
He was a soccer player at Notre Dame. He never kicked for the school, so that's good.
Shout out to Fighting Irish.
Great to know what's going on in Notre Dame. Riley Leonard, shout out, and we got another guy from Duke. Apparently, we can only get players from really smart schools.
RJ Oben's pretty good. I saw they got him the edge rusher. I think he's pretty solid. So
they should be.
I guess.
Yeah, they should.
That's the problem, Brian. That was a big problem I had. Not to go off topic, but Brian Kelly, they're like, hey, you can only recruit guys who have a 3.9 GPA. It's like, all right, that kind of levels thins the cast that I am trying to. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But
it limits your options. You really
there
can't.
You go. Thank you.
You can't go out and go get these beasts from maybe a USC or for example, just one of those schools, Alabama. Maybe somebody wants to transfer. You can't get those guys because their academics aren't, and we don't like taking undergraduate transfers. All we take is 22, 23-year-old graduate transfers. But all right, let's get Hartman. Yeah, I don't want to get too much on the Notre Dame. I'll start freaking out. But I do think just I would love to come in here. Like last week, I was able to come in here and say, we're okay. Like that was a blip in the radar, a bad game. We can bounce back, and I think we'll be okay. I don't feel that way anymore. I don't, and it's not even really like people will point to the rest of the schedule and how it's the easiest of all the things. That's not my problem. I don't have any concern with the Eagles maybe still getting the 1 seed or winning games. I don't think that they're going to be able to match up with the Cowboys or the Niners in the playoffs. Now I'm starting to I don't have faith in them the way I did maybe 2-3 weeks ago that they're going to be able to hold their own at home. They're not that team that they were last year. They were a much different team last year than they are this year, and they just are they frauds, Ty?
Yeah, they might be. I mean, I think if you look at some advanced metrics, if you look, I wonder what our where we rank in point differential. Let's look. Actually, we're at plus 21, which puts us right on pace, I guess, with the Jags, the Browns, the Vikings. We're actually behind the Vikings and the Lions and the Saints. Again, point differential is not the end all be all, but there's kind of a trend. Look at all the good teams. Look at all the contenders. They're at 100. Dolphins, Bills, Ravens, Chiefs are even at plus 64. Dallas at plus 188. Niners at plus 175. We're at plus 21. I don't know, man. People keep saying, "Well, yeah, we just got to win out, and we'll be fine, right? We'll get right against these teams." I'm like, well, one, that's not a given. We played the Giants twice, and you can laugh at the Giants all you want. Tommy DeVito, got to have the cutlets, but they just beat the Packers, and they're a division team. It's going to be tough. We play on Christmas Day, and then we play a little bit a week after New Year's. So you can count both those as wins if you want, but I think one of them or both of them are going to be tough. Remember, we've given the Commanders 2 best games of the year have been against us, pretty much. So I wouldn't count those as wins. The Cardinals should be a win. But then we have to go to Seattle next week. That's not going to be easy. Yeah. I don't know if people think that's going to be easy, but that's going to be tough. I think we should be able – the offense should definitely be able to get right. If we don't score 3 or 4 plus touchdowns on offense, I'm going to have some questions. 30, 40 points at least. But they're going to put up points. DK Metcalf has been a fucking terror lately, and that kind of makes me nervous if we can't cover Michael Gallup or Gabe Davis. Dude, Gabe Davis puts up donuts, bagels, fat, everything seasoning bagels every game, except when he plays us, he puts up 100 yards and a touchdown. That is a huge, huge red flag. Michael Gallup is a joke within Cowboys fans. He does what he wants against us. I don't know, man. I don't think this pass defense can recover. I don't think this third down defense can recover. I don't think maybe the pass rush can start to generate some pressure. I think maybe that's our best hope. I think maybe the O-line can go back to being dominant, especially running the ball. I think our offense in general is better than what we've been showing. But I don't think this defense is going to elevate us to being even a contender. Once we face off against the Niners or Cowboys in the playoffs or whoever, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue for sure. And I don't know what there is. What can we do to change our defense at this point in the season? Nothing.
And it seems like it's I can't tell if it's a Deshaun Desai thing or has the personnel that these guys have fallen off a cliff so much, that they just can't play anymore. And I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. I know that's kind of a cop-out, but that's to me, it's the truth. Because it seems like on both ends of the ball, we have lacked creativity or any sort of just ability to adjust, or I don't know. I had so much more confidence, even in a Jonathan Gannon, who who wasn't exactly the most liked person here in this city or loved by Eagles fans anywhere. He was a little bit of a clown and a little bit of a geek, but the defense, it seemed like, was all on the same page, and they were dominant in some games. This year, they've just been kind of hoping that things go their way. They lose that KC game if MVS doesn't, if he catches that ball. They lose the Bills game if, certain things don't go their way. They still gave up 34 points, needed the offense to put 37 up. They gave up 42 to the Niners, 33 to the Cowboys. They're getting cooked on a regular basis. And the offense hasn't been much better. I would love to sit here and say this is a one-stop problem, but it's not. Because you have an offense who can't score in the first half at all. And they're having trouble putting the ball in the end zone, in the red zone. Because you watch this, this past game, they turn, the really killer, it just seemed like once Hurts fumbled that ball and gave it up, it was like, oh, we're fucked, man. Like
It's over.
It was, and that's how bad it's gotten to this point where it's, wow, like one thing doesn't go your way, and it's over, and the feeling amongst everyone, all the fans, is just like, oh yeah, how are we going to recover from this? Because we literally have to play a perfect game because our defense is not going to stop anyone. We have, Hall of Famers on our, and you know what? Somebody who you have, been critical of in the past, who has looked very good. The only guy that you can count on that D line, dude, Fletcher Cox. I mean,
yeah,
he's been the only guy in his time on the field who's been productive and has gotten to the quarterback, or at least gotten some pressure on the up the middle. Jordan Davis, he might as well not even be out there. I mean, people are running the ball right up the middle on us, and hey, I don't even see him making an impact whatsoever. Jalen Carter's Jalen Carter's still Jalen Carter. I still have faith in him, and he's still a rookie at the end of the day. I'm not expecting him to be Aaron Donald every single game. But, you got Reddick on the one. I mean, Josh Sweat has been a non-factor pretty much all season long.
Yeah.
Hassan Reddick is kind of like one or two pressures a game where he gets to the quarterback, or he gets a clutch sack in the fourth quarter. It seems like it's like really hit or miss. And now you're gonna have to see some more Nolan Smith and some more of these other guys. You didn't really see much Shaq Leonard early on in the game. I understand that they're gonna have to get him, going more. But the defense is the defense. That's gonna be the issue. I'm more truly worried about the offense, because that was the thing that was going to be able to kind of keep us afloat in some of these games, and now they have completely hit a brick wall, and I don't know where they go from here.
Yeah, I think. Looking on Pro Football Focus, we didn't have much green in this game. Jalen Hurts was our highest ranked player, followed by Goddard, and then Dickerson, and then Braden Mann. Right, Braden Mann was one of our best offensive players last night too. It was Zacchaeus, and everybody else was just a bunch of yellow, which is not good. Defensively, also, I actually thought one of our only bright spots. I guess I'll talk about some of them. Darius Slay, he didn't give up a catch. He was targeted 4 times, 2 PBUs. He's
bullshit
been
ass PI calling him too.
Terrible. That was bad. That was very soft. He's been solid. I mean, here and he's lost a step. That's really all it is. Like, interceptions, pick sixes, PBUs 2 years ago are now completions that are, he just got there a little too late,
Yeah.
But he's still I mean, dude, James Bradbury, he's just bad. I don't know what else to say. I mean, he's pretty much done. He got targeted 9 times, gave up 7 catches for 63 yards and a touchdown. So I think, and the 2-point conversion. I don't know if they got a 2-point conversion. I think I might have made that up. But also, our worst player was Jalen Carter, 29.1. That is just brutal. And his run defense grade was pretty much what weighed him down. Our run defense grades in general are not great. I don't know what it is in the run game, but our big bodies up front. Jordan Davis is like 6'7", 350, 360. People, you see him on TV, you're like, oh my God, like, he's got to play the whole game. Played 43 snaps, and I didn't really notice him. So no pressures at all. 4 tackles just from being in the middle. Zach Cunningham played well. I thought Fletcher played well. I thought the linebackers were solid. I didn't notice them getting completely cooked. It was just certain players got exposed. We have certain players that you can just expose. James Bradbury's one of them. For large portions of the game, the D line. I mean, dude, we've given up 130 plus rushing yards. I think 5 games in a row. If that's correct, 4 games in a row. The Cowboys, the first game, ran for 73. So, the run defense in general could definitely be a lot better. I'm sure the pass defense being what it is isn't helping, but still, like, guys got to do their jobs, man. Guys got to be better. Sidney Brown's coming in, and they're trying to rely on him too heavily. That's not working. Keely Ringo played 22 snaps, and he committed one of the craziest, I don't even know what to call it, a triple whammy, I guess. He got pass interference, he got face mask, and he gave up a 20-yard penalty, resulting in like a 40-yard play, which was crazy as fuck. That cornerback experiment should be over. He should be a safety, 1,000,000%. I've been saying this since college. Bradbury is just a complete weakness. Blankenship hasn't played as good lately.
He got hurt early on in that game.
He got concussed, but even then, now if any of these guys get hurt, any of them, you have to bring in Eli Ricks, who actually wasn't that bad, especially on special teams. Now you have to bring in Sidney Brown and rely on him to. He's pretty much a safety playing all over the field, corner, slot.
Yeah.
Like that shit's not working, man. And then we got we're 21 snaps for Nolan Smith because nobody else can get to the pass rusher or get to the quarterback. So now you have to have him play more snaps than he's used to. The defense as a whole is just kind of scattered, and then offense is kind of just stalled out. Is kind of how it seems,
Do you think? I mean, now the report, now the Derek Gunn is getting anonymous Eagles players reaching out to him saying that the Eagles' offense is very predictable and lacks creativity and kind of all the things that anybody with a fucking brain can put together. But that's this kind of shit that you just can't have happen. You can't be having your players leaking little information and kind of just bitching to the media. And I'll be honest, I'm no expert, but. Or I don't have any inside info, but if I had a guess on who was the source on this one, I think his name rhymes with AJ Brown. So I'm not gonna, I wouldn't be too shocked by that because he's been the only guy who has been so vocal all season long. He started it right away. Week 2, bitching about his targets to Jalen Hurts and to Brian Johnson and. It seems like ever since then, the offense has just kind of been like let's feed AJ the ball, and when AJ doesn't get the ball, it's a problem, or he's going to cry about it after the game. Again, they have not been. They're not playing from ahead. They're not doing the things that made them successful last year, and they're not going to be successful in this current fashion or in this current form. I caution people to get too excited about. I mean, if they go into Seattle and take a W, then I'll feel a little bit better. But Ty, beating the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Giants again, that's not going to get anybody in here too excited. We're going to have to hope that the 49ers lose to one of these remaining teams that they play. I think they play the Ravens, which would be ideal in one of those games. So they play the Cardinals, the Ravens, the Commanders, and the Rams. So it seems like the Ravens or the Rams would be your only shot, and the Rams are a kind of the Rams are just one of those sneaky teams that have a bunch of players that can, and it's a divisional game. That's the only kind of hope I have. But Ty,
Dallas' schedule's pretty tough for what it's worth.
Yeah, and I'm not. The thing is, I think we win that division. Just even if we win the rest of our games, I'm pretty sure we win that division based off of some sort of tiebreaker of some sort. But Ty, I did want to ask you. Do you have how do you feel going into this game in Seattle with everything that's happened, with everything we just lined up and said, this is bad, this is bad. They're not doing this, they're not doing that, and the offense is horrible, it's sputtering. The defense is literally Swiss cheese and can't stop anybody. Do you feel good? How do you feel going into this game?
Well, we should handle them. They've lost 4 in a row. They've given up 30, I think twice. Sorry. And they lost 5 of 6 when they lost to Baltimore 37-3. They're pretty bad on the road, it seems. Their only win in the last month was against the Commanders by 3. So I think Gino's banged up. I don't even know if he's going to play. If Drew Lock's playing, we should absolutely smoke him. Both of their running backs are banged up. We should handle them with ease. They have one of the worst defenses since they traded for Leonard Williams. They're like 31st, 32nd in so many different categories. So we should handle them. And I have all hope and prayer that we do win by double digits at least. Maybe it gets close for a little bit, especially in the first half. You know how bad we like to play in the first half. So I'm sure it'll be close at some point, but we should not be gashed on the ground. Both their running backs, while talented, are hurt, limited. So we shouldn't. Their O-line's also just banged the fuck up. Their whole team in general is banged up. Pete Carroll punts the ball on 4th and 2 from the other team's 40 all the time. So I just think we have them outgunned everywhere. We should win 38-21. That's my feeling. But if they don't, if they come out here and kind of look lackadaisical, if they turn it over a couple times, if Seattle's converting on 3rd downs, I'm gonna have some. Me and you are gonna get much louder on here. After that, we should settle in and not have any trouble with any of those teams. Maybe, again, like I said, maybe one of the Giants games is a nail biter for whatever reason. But we should definitely handle Seattle. I think they might put up points. Maybe if Gino's playing, if he's locked in, maybe they can get some big plays because, like I said, our defense is just Swiss cheese. But no, I have confidence in this. I didn't have much confidence coming in this game though.
You mean the Dallas game? Yeah, I don't feel good. Well, I mean, I am trying to bounce back and be like, yeah, listen, we'll be able to right the ship and get this thing going in the right direction. I think the odds are that we do. Like, I think I would love for this game to have been at home. It's kind of unfortunate that it's in Seattle. That's another thing that kind of gives me a little bit of concern. It looks like it might rain too on Monday night. And
of course, why not?
Why wouldn't it? So I would like to see us be able to run the ball, successfully. I think, but another, like you kind of made mention of, they tried to kind of run the ball in this past game, but it didn't. You really can't commit to the run when you're down 14-0 to start the game, or 10-0. Right away when you're down double digits. It's kind of that's over with. So
I'm glad you said that. I saw people saying, "Come on, man, establish the run." I'm like, bro, it's 24-6. Like, what the fuck do you mean establish the run? No, I want to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Like we can't try to dominate time of possession when we're down 21 points in the third quarter. No, bro. Like, that's not how that works.
And that's what I've been saying. Like, I mean, I probably sound like a parrot on here every week. I say the same shit, but like we refused. Not that we refused. We're not able to play from ahead. So we can't play the way we need to play to be successful. The way this team is built, we can't play that way because every single week we are down. Every single week we are down to start the game. And we are playing from behind, sometimes by double digits. I mean, there was this stat that they were winning all these, double-digit comeback games and stuff like that. That's long gone. That's in the past. Now we are getting cooked, and we are getting smoked on a regular basis. So I think Seattle is a little bit better than maybe we are giving them credit for. I know they've gone through a little bit of a rough patch, but they didn't look horrible against the 49ers this past week, and they had Drew Lock playing quarterback. Drew Lock is a human interception turnover machine, so that is a little bit concerning. And that Debo had a field day again this weekend. He's turned into the greatest weapon again that football has ever known. So that's interesting.
Also, who can't cover him? Nicholas Morrow. Probably not the best to put on him, I don't think. Yeah. But what do I know, right?
I'm no expert. Sean Desai knows way more than us, apparently, but he's, got that all on lock.
Yeah, real quick to go back to that point, you said it earlier. I also don't know, people are going out here and saying, oh my God, Desai is so bad. I'm like, maybe he is. Honestly, I can't really tell. I'm not an X's and O's guy, but, we can't play man and we can't play zone. So, he kind of is already behind the 8 ball because he doesn't know what to do because his personnel is so garbage, right? So I feel like I kind of feel bad for him in that sense. In some ways, the LSU defensive coordinator this year, Matt House, who we got from the Chiefs, by the way, which is an abysmal hire, he was really bad. But I also was feeling every single player, our starting cornerbacks are transfers from FCS. So, what can he do? He has to be a real defensive guru, a real genius, which I'm not expecting Sean Desai to be. I'm not expecting him to make magic happen because it's hard to do. I'm sure he hasn't been that good. I don't really see any adjustments for sure. We don't bring pressure nearly as much, especially on third down. But also, if we do, there's guys open all the time. So it's you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah, the ball comes out quick. It's not, early in the games, the ball is coming out quick, and we are not even able to get any sort of rush or anything going. Don't really run any stunts or anything, it seems. There's no really exotic blitzes or anything That's what I miss from last year was the creativity of some of the things that even the defense would do, but not even so much. The defense really didn't have to do much last year because they were always ahead. So they could we talked about, could kind of just focus on one thing, which was stopping the pass, stopping the run early in the game and getting to the quarterback. Those are the 3 main focuses. Now I don't like that we always give them the ball. I would like on Monday night for us to take the ball, go down and score, and maybe play from ahead for a little bit. But yeah, Ty, I mean, there's going to be we're going to have to get into the bomb shelters. There's going to be nuclear war warnings if we lose to Drew Lock or if Drew Lock even looks like a competent quarterback on Monday night. It's going to be a scary, scary situation around here for Eagles fans and for the entire fan base. This is this is as bad as I've felt about a 10-3 team probably in my lifetime, and that's pretty crazy. And it's not even so much just. It's more of the way that the players are carrying themselves. Don't you feel that way? Like there's not like that we're good mentality. Like obviously the Fletcher Cox and the Brandon Grahams and the guys who've been here are like, yeah, we're fine, we're good. But then you got like Darius Slay like retweeting the guys with the trash cans outside the NovaCare Center. You got, like I said, you have anonymous sources. You have just all this these little, I don't know, just nonsense. All just the stuff that should be kept in-house is now leaking out and just causing more drama than you already need because people are already ready to say the sky is falling. So,
also the fans that did the thing with Slay and Bradbury,
loser.
It's just so funny. Slay just had his best game of the year. Gave up 0 catches, had a couple tackles, had a couple pass breakups, and you're going to put him in the same. You're going to put him on a trash can next to James Bradbury, the literal human trash can. That just seems a little disrespectful, far-fetched, but, what are you going to do?
But that's what they get for giving them any sort of promotion or, you know what I mean? Like the coach sending coffee out there or just if you acknowledge those guys at all, then it's just going to spawn more fucking morons that are going to come out here and be like, now fire DeAndre Swift, fire Brian Johnson. That'll be the next thing, which I think Brian Johnson is a fucking moron. I can't tell whose actual offense this is. I know they keep saying it's Brian Johnson, but like I've heard rumors that it's a lot of it is still Sirianni and him like helping create the offense, and it seems like that offense from the first 7 or 8 games of his tenure as a coach, where we really were just throw heavy. We didn't really run the ball. It was just kind of we were trying to count on Jalen Hurts to basically make all these plays, and he wasn't there as a player yet. So they had to adjust. They had to go run heavy, and that's how we got in the playoffs that year. We had an easy schedule, but we had to change the way we played, and we played that all way last year. Now we've kind of switched it back up to being like you said, like a chunk play, like where we're just looking for these big plays all the time, and it's not real. Is that a razor?
Yeah.
Am I hearing a razor? Are you shaving right now?
No, it's the washer. Sorry.
Oh.
It's just blown up. I guess
That was wild. I thought you were catching a quick shave real quick.
No, I could use one for sure. I'm woofing, but yeah, I think the coaching staff also could use a nice reinvigoration, if you will. I feel like we don't have any creativity. We don't, we're kind of just stagnant as a whole. And I know, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're 10-3. Imagine being a Steelers fan." No, I'm good. I don't want to imagine being a Steelers fan. I don't want to be a fucking Giants fan, and I don't feel bad for the Rams. I don't care if you're a Cardinals fan. No. I don't care about anything. We are not what we should be. Is the problem, and we are a Super Bowl contender. And we've regressed from last year, and the turnovers, the third downs, everything is just not. It's not a good recipe, and I don't think we are a contender at this current juncture. Now, if we finish out strong, beat every team by 30, whatever. I know it might be a little bit of stat padding against bad teams, but if we do that, sure. I just need to see something, right? I need, what have you done for me lately? Going forward, closing out the regular season, I need to see no injuries. There it is. That's what I need to see. No injuries. Mainly because we really don't have much depth anywhere, if we're being honest. And cleaning up some of the, just getting our numbers back in the right in the right direction, right? I don't want us to be dead last in third down conversion rate for opponents. That just can't happen. I don't know what the stats say, but I doubt a Super Bowl team has ever led the league in giving up third downs. So that has to get fixed. The pass rush really needs to show up. I've said it every week. The key for this game will be the pass rush, and every week it's let us down. So yeah. We just pretty much need to come out here and smoke everybody, and then we'll see who we get in the playoffs. Right now, I think we'd be playing in Tampa, which I'd be all for. I could go and we would smoke the Bucs. So
yeah, but then we'd have to go to Dallas or we'd have to go somewhere after that. We'd be on the road the whole time, pretty much.
On the road again.
Which, I mean, honestly wouldn't be the end of the world. It's just more. It's not even really about any of that. It's just more the fact that this team is not playing at the level that we expected and we need them to in order to have success in the playoffs, because it's been rough. But Ty, I do want to get your official prediction for the game on Monday. I'm going to give mine first, just so no pressure on you after that. I'm going to go 31-20. I think the offense gets back on track, and I think the defense has a little bit of success against Drew Lock. If it's Geno Smith, I may feel a little bit different.
Yeah. I'm going to say like 37-21.
Like that. All right. So we both have double-digit victory.
Usually Monday night game, the under has been cashing for Monday night games, so that's something to look out for, I guess. Maybe it'll be like 21-10. I don't know.
And that would I would feel good about that just from a defensive standpoint, but I would still look at the offense and be like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" But I'll just take a win at this point. I'm not really even looking for style points. I just want to win.
Yeah, if we could hold the Paul VI defense to 10 points, I'd be happy. Let alone any NFL defense. So
shout out to the Eagles, the other Eagles over there, somewhere in South Jersey. So. That is our Eagles talk. We did a good quality 40 minutes there, Ty. I'm very proud of us. I think we should be proud of ourselves. How about our Sixers, who are welcoming the 2-21 Detroit Pistons? They're welcoming us. We're going to the crib. We have a back-to-back sort of situation with them this week. The Sixers have been cruising, and maybe it's because your boy Oubre is back. But they had that game where they played the Celtics. They didn't have Maxey or Embiid, I'm pretty sure. And then this past week they had two games against the Wizards. One where Embiid I think had 50, and they played the Hawks. Embiid's kind of just been. It looks like he's hitting his stride.
He's cooking.
Yeah, I guess that's the best way to just say it. He is absolutely cooking right now. 38. Maxey had 30 in that Hawks game. And then this game the other day, they didn't even have to play in the third quarter. They were just absolutely cooking. Embiid had 34. Maxey had 24. And it was just kind of Marcus Morris had 12. Pat Bev had 12. They didn't really need any of these guys. But
how about Pat Bev dropping 26 that game against the Celtics? That was wild.
Yeah, no. Good. I mean, and honestly, I know me and you have been somewhat critical of just the whole talk around him acting like he's going to be this huge difference maker, but he has added a little bit of that, leadership quality that neither one of Embiid or Harden or Simmons ever wanted to kind of take ownership of, So we kind of needed a guy who's willing to push these other guys and willing to do all the dirty work. Like we talked about, the PJ Tucker of the room. And it's kind of, listen, the Sixers again.
By the way, he's not playing for the Clippers.
No? Was he hurt?
Nope. He's just a DMP.
Oh, that's great. Good for him, man. Just cashing out. I would have kept him if we really. I know it was kind of a contracting situation, which we were able to get out from under that money. But what could he really have added that Marcus Morris or some of these other guys couldn't have added? I guess at the end of the day. But you got two games against the Pistons. You got a Hornets game, a Bulls game. The Timberwolves will be a fun game. That's next Wednesday. 7:00, Raptors, and then we have the Heat on Christmas Day, so that'll be exciting.
I'm excited for that one.
It's the regular season. It's hard to really get all worked up. We are fourth in the conference right now, Ty, behind the Magic. How about that? Magic are 16-7. That's enough.
Like St. Pete Magic, baby.
Yeah, you spend enough years in the lottery, then eventually things start to go your way, but.
I like the roster.
Banchero is for real, right? Are we of that thought process? Because
he's good. I think some people think he has like superstar potential. I don't know about that. I think his ceiling is a little limited, but he can do a lot. Like I think he leads the team in points, rebounds, and assists. So defensively, not the best, but that's why they have Jalen Suggs. That's why they have Goga Batadze, right? They have Mo Wagner. They have a bunch of different pieces.
Oh, they do have Mo.
No, both.
They got both Wagners.
Yeah, Mo Wagner's been balling. He's their second best scorer, and then Franz, and Mo is just kind of doing a bunch of different things, playing center. Jonathan Isaacs just doing a little bit, praying for and after games. Yeah, somehow. Anthony Black hasn't even really played that much. The rookie, the top 5, top 10 pick, whatever he was. Either is really Caleb Houston or Jet Howard, any of the rookies. Cole Anthony is finally starting to ball out. Jalen Suggs, one of the best defenders in the league. Wendell Carter, even Markelle Fultz and Gary Harris are chipping in a little bit. I don't know, man. They have a good team, and they're all super fucking young. So the Orlando St. Pete Magic, we're coming, baby.
So, are you going to jump on the bandwagon? That's what it sounds like.
Absolutely. I have to plant my flag. That's gonna be my local team. But if they play the Sixers, it's going down. People are starting to come into the bar and be like, "Yo, can you put the Magic game on?" I'm like, "Damn, all right." Yeah. Like the Heat aren't even the draw around here anymore. So,
well, that feeling when you have that young team like that, and especially if they're playing at this level, you're like, that I remember the days, even when the Sixers stunk, when Embiid was first playing, and him and Simmons were playing. It was like it was a rush. It was like a drug every night, just watching these guys kind of, no expectations, no nothing, just hoping that they
just vibes.
Yeah, just vibes and playing well. Those were the days. But right now, if the season ended, we'd be playing the Pacers in round one. That seems like a nightmare. And then we'd see the Celtics in round two. So that sounds like an absolute nightmare. Nightmare fuel for everyone out there who is getting into the Sixers. The Flyers are cruising along here, Ty.
Don't slow down the Flyers, please.
Listen, I would love to be here and be like that guy that's like, hey, we got to, don't get too excited. It's not really anything, they're not that good and yada yada. Dude, I mean, listen. I at some point I do think the shout to the St. Pete's Police, or the EMTs. I'm not sure which one, but I do think that the rug is going to get pulled out from underneath them at some point because there's no way that this can continue. I mean, we are more than a third through the season, and they're still in a playoff spot, and they just They took a point from the Predators last night. The Predators are not horrible. They're not the greatest team, but they've been on the road this entire week, and they've played well. I enjoyed the Flyers outshot them by like double or almost like a 2.5 times more than the Predators did. And I don't know, Ty. I know you're not really locked in on the Flyers these days. I was watching a little bit of your Blackhawks last night.
They're so bad.
They were playing McDavid, right? Wasn't that the big? ESPN was gargling, gargling on them on that game last night. I forget what they kept calling it. They kept saying
Connor versus Connor. No,
it's something along, and they kept using these little just weird fucking slogans and shit. It was pissing me off big time. But Flyers,
I'll give you a stat real quick if you want to hear it. I have to find it. It's gonna be tough.
Well, while you look for it, I will just let you guys know that the Flyers took care of business against the Coyotes, took care of business twice against the Pens, and it seems like when they lose a game, it's a close game to, in overtime. The last game they lost in regulation, I think, was the Hurricanes, and that was in November. So we're, the Flyers are cruising along quite nice right now. They got a Capitals, a Red Wings, and a Devils game coming up in the next week. And, the Capitals, like you've said, they're right behind us, so we need to keep them. They've kind of been a little bit disappointing. The Devils, again, are not that good. That's not that confusing. Crazy. And the Red Wings are, they just signed your boy Patrick Kane. How about that?
Yeah, bad hip and all.
Yeah, he doesn't look. It's sad watching the guy like that out there looking less than what he used to be. But
so here's this stat I got for you. All right. Only 3 players in history of the NHL have scored the opening goal in the first 6 minutes. This is a very specific stat, but it's still kind of crazy. Only 3 players, Gordie Howe, Sidney Crosby, and Connor Bedard, have scored the opening goal in the first 6 minutes, but then had his team get shut out the rest of the way and lose by multiple goals. Okay? Again, I know that's very specific.
That is.
Only 3 players have done it 4 times. Have had that happen to them 4 times in their career. Those 3 guys.
It's wild. Those are 2 all-time players combined.
Connor Bedard has played 28 games. He has played, and he has already had that happen to him 4 times. Those guys, Gordie Howe played like 20 years and only had that happen 4 times. Nobody else has had that happen 4 times. Bedard is going to have that happen to him like 10, 15, 20 times in his career. So that's kind of crazy. To score the opening goal quick and then have your team get shut out the rest of the way. That's exactly what happened against the Oilers. He scored this nasty, just quick wrister. I don't even know how it happened. His wrist in general, his shot in general, I should say. He does have cute wrists. Just say that. But his shot in general is fucking wicked. And then that's it. That's it. Nobody else behind him to help him out. He had Taylor Hall. We signed him, and then he tears his ACL. They go out and get Corey Perry. He's on the booze. He's a booze bag, like you like to say. And Nick Foligno, he's having a career year. If it wasn't for him, we'd be cooked. I mean, we already are cooked. We're in the running for Macklin Celebrini, the number 1 pick next year, who's at BU. Shout out to I forget what they're called. Gophers? No, that's Minnesota.
The Gophers? No, I don't know what BU is.
BU, I think, is the Terriers. Yes, the Terriers. Shout out to the Terriers. Go Terriers.
So that is your hockey update, ladies and gentlemen. Corey Perry apparently did come out that he was a booze bag, but I still don't understand what the whole story was, because it seemed like, what was the incident? They never said what the incident was.
Well, I guess, right. My assumption is he just got fucked up and said some weird shit or did some weird shit, something. Maybe not like illegal, like maybe not like assault or sexual assault, but,
inappropriate comments.
Told somebody he was going to eat their butt or something. People do that sometimes, I guess.
Hey,
I don't know.
You just can't do it. You just can't do it at work, man.
Yeah, you can't just be I'm going to fuck the shit out of your mom. It's like, all right, bro.
Conor Bedard was like, dude, come on, bro.
Yeah, I'm 18. What the fuck's wrong with you? You're like 40, you fucking
dude,
weirdo.
You're 20 years older than me. He's like, fuck you.
I want a shot of Jack
you
Daniels.
Young prick. Here, you want to drink with me? He's like, no, I can't. It's not legal.
Yeah, I'm going to go score a goal tomorrow, and you're fucking not going to help. So, that's that situation. That's that situation.
Well, hopefully Corey Perry gets the help that he needs. I know we never really touched back on that again. But before we do get out of here, Ty, I did want to discuss a little bit of Major League Baseball news, especially within the world of you. The stove has heated up since I left the area. It is official, ladies and gentlemen. Shohei Ohtani is going to the Los Angeles Dodgers for a record sum of 10 years, $700 million, man. I never thought I'd see a contract that, like, I don't know what I expected for him to sign to or what I expected that number to be, but when I saw $700 million pop up on my phone, and just I love how so Japanese the way he announced it too, just the logo. I was just like, yo, I'm going to the Dodgers. Like, what? No fanfare, no nothing. Like, didn't want like a whole thing. Apologies.
He apologized.
Yeah, like just the most respectful shit you could ever imagine. No, he doesn't have to do that at all. But the most respectful shit you could ever do, the way to announce what team you're going to, and he's basically going down the freeway, heading to Los Angeles. He's already in Los Angeles or Anaheim, whatever. He's joining your Dodgers, Ty. How excited are you? I mean, this is probably one of the bigger signings of your lifetime as a Dodger fan. Probably the biggest.
Yeah, they've had some whiffs. They mainly make trades. Also, they're in the there's a rumor that they're trading for Tyler Glass now. I would like them to add Randy Rosarina to the deal, or else I'm not really that interested. Like, I do like Glass now, but he's always fucking hurt. So I'll take it. Love Killian Murphy. Also, we just had a huge meeting with Yoshinobu Yamamoto at Dodger Stadium. He wanted Mookie Betts there. Mookie Betts showed up. Will Smith, the catcher, was there. I'm sure Ohtani is in his ear. Getting him would be awesome.
Yeah, man.
Also, he doesn't. I'm just trying to not die over here.
Oh.
Apparently, he doesn't care about money. It's about fit. He's going to get a bunch of money though. So, the Ohtani contract is weird, man. I don't. So I guess the CBT number, which stands for what? I don't know. Competitive balance tax? Yes, I think that's it. That's about $460 million, which is not too much more than Mike Trout. Mike Trout's 426. So a bunch of his money is getting deferred, right?
Yeah.
I think 97% of it's getting deferred, but I don't think he's going to get just $2 million a year. I don't think that's what it says, but I don't think that's necessarily what he's going to get paid. Even if it is, he's getting $50 million plus off the field from whatever he does off the field. And the Dodgers still have to show that they have money. They have that money on hand. Like,
is Ohtani doing OnlyFans?
Yeah, apparently he does OnlyFans. No, I know he's a big,
No, he's making endorsements. Probably
Japanese star. Probably the biggest Japanese star in the world, at least in sports. But yeah, so I guess he'll be making $2 million annually in the first 10 years, and then as the theory goes, but the math is just like basically the average value is way more than $2 million. But that's I'm very confused. I'm not good with numbers as it is, and this whole contract and all the deferrals and the tax and the this and the that, it all gives me a headache. So it's still a hit of about $46 million a year. Let's just say that, I guess, right? So This article I'm trying to read in quick fashion about it is there's just numbers everywhere, so my head hurts. But either way, it's not my money. I couldn't give two fucks about what these million and billionaires do with their money. I'm sorry, I don't. It's not a salary cap sport. If there was a salary cap and that limited what we could do with the rest of the team, I'd be like, yo, why are we giving out this big contract when we don't have, a linebacker, a cornerback, a safety, an edge rusher? If we were giving Jalen Hurts all this money, it's kind of like the Giants giving Daniel Jones all that money and having really not much else to do with. If we gave our entire money to our entire salary to Ohtani with nobody else, I'd be pissed. But
yeah,
there's no cap. There's no salary cap. You do what you want. I do think it's kind of crazy. You can defer 97% of a $700 million contract. I feel like that shouldn't be allowed, but it is. So now we can go get Yamamoto, trade for Glass now. Whatever else there is to get, whoever else there is to get. They want Josh Hader. That's gonna be That's gonna be a big contract. So I'm all in though. We need some. Listen, the team is awesome. The team is really good, but they've come up short. So what are you gonna do? Keep fucking building until they don't lose, right? That's what ownership and the front office should do. Teams are gonna look at it like, oh, look how desperate these guys are. They're gonna pay off. They're gonna buy a ring. It's like, yeah, bro, that's how that works. Like, the Phillies just gave a bunch of money to a bunch of players, and what happened? Back-to-back World Series appearances. That's just how that works.
NLCS.
Yes.
I don't want to give them too much credit. No, I was just going to say the same, like what you said, like, that is what ownership's supposed to do. It's what I wish the Phillies would do, and just kind of go out and get someone else this year. But it seems like they're kind of going to sit on their hands and, wait around. A few things that I instantly thought of when this happened was it's wild that, like you said, $680 million is going to be deferred, I think, until 2035. It was something like crazy, 10 years from now.
Yeah, the first 10 years, after the contract.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's good for him, though, because you'll have money for the rest of your life. I mean, you already will, but it's kind of like while you're making this $50 million while you're playing, then you can go and just kind of when maybe endorsements won't be as hot when you're a 38, 39-year-old, kind of semi-retired baseball player. Now you're going to be making the second leg of your contract, and you're just going to be caking out. And another thought was that they might honestly, instead of paying him off all that money, he might wind up getting an ownership stake out of this because it's going to be. I think right now he has the value of his contract is worth 20% of the franchise or something along those lines.
Worth more than the entire Arizona Coyotes franchise.
It's insane. So you imagine down the road there's going to be a pay the piper sort of moment here, and they're going to have to figure this out. But I mean, good for the Dodgers and good for Ohtani, man. I heard it came down to them and the Giants, and the Giants were willing to match the offer, and that it was kind of up to Ohtani, and he just stayed in L.A., which if I had the two options, I would do the same thing. I'm not going to San Francisco to play with Jock Peterson's corpse, even though he's not even there. But
Brandon Belt's corpse, who's also not there.
Yeah,
Brandon Crawford's
corpse and Buster Posey's corpse, and
Also, he's not still in LA. He is moving to LA from Anaheim.
There you go.
Also, so I guess his deal is precisely 10 years, $460 million after being washed through baseball's accounting.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Which was right, whatever that means. I don't know. I mean, I know California, the state, is they tax out the ass, but I guess Ohtani doesn't care. Ohtani doesn't seem to really care about much, right? He's like, yo, do what you got to do, get the contract you get. I want it deferred so I can help them bring in other guys. Let's fucking get nasty. And if we bring in Yamamoto too, I'm going to be through the roof.
You might have to go visit Japan.
Listen, I'll go. I've heard really good things about Japan. I will go there, and I will be as respectful as possible, and I will probably fall in love with a nice Japanese woman because they are awesome.
There you go. So you heard it here first, guys. Ty is going to find himself a Japanese woman.
I'm doing it. I'm going over there. I'm going to settle down. Everybody looks happier over there, right? I'm going to go over there.
And I'm going to subscribe to Ohtani's OnlyFans because I just found out about that. So.
Just be pictures of him and his dog sitting there.
Him and his dong piece. But another thing that I was thinking about was the fact that now where does this leave Mike Trout? Because we talked about when the Mike Trout rumors were starting to circulate about a month ago. It was, to me, it kind of depended on if they lose Ohtani, then why in God's name would not only would he want to stay there, but why would the Angels want to keep him, right? Because Now they already weren't that good. They couldn't get to the playoffs anyway. Now they've lost their best player, their best pitcher, and their best hitter, and I just don't get now where they go from here without kind of just reloading and just restarting this whole thing.
Also, at the trade deadline, they were so desperate to try to get better at all. They didn't go all in, but they went 75%. They put more than the tip in.
Yeah,
they went in for sure, and then they traded for a bunch of guys who didn't pan out, and then they released them.
Yeah,
so they gave up these prospects for these players, and then they just put them on waivers, and they're like, you know what, we don't even want these guys anymore. So the prospects we gave up, fuck them. And their farm system was already like in the bottom third of the league. Let's see where it is now. I mean, I'm guessing this is updated, right? Bleacher Report, December 11th. Okay. I'm guessing they're going to be in like the 20-something range. 27th. Yeah. So, yeah, like what? Who are their top prospects even? I don't know any of these people. Nolan Shanuel, Caden Donna.
He's pretty good.
Nelson Rada, Kyron Paris, I heard of him. But, like, Trey Cabbage. That's one of their top 10 prospects. Like, okay, the guy from FAU, Nolan Shanuel. Yeah. Okay, I see.
He bats just like prospects. It's insane.
All right, listen, we got to bring him to LA. We got to get him to LA, right?
Everybody Ohtani related must get to LA right
now. So I'm looking at Trout's contract. It looks like he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 whopping 7 years left, $37 million per year. No opt-outs, no full no trade clause. Still get some incentives from winning an MVP, Silver Slugger, All-Star. I don't know if he's going to get any of these, man. Like, he's 32. He's already fallen off a little bit. He's still, he's getting hurt. These aren't like minor injuries either. And he signed that extension that was 2019. Yeah, I mean, if you're the Angels are run poorly. Art Moreno, the 93-year-old owner who's sitting on billions of dollars, I guess waiting for himself to die so he can take it with him. He refuses to put money into this team, right? I think they probably would have done whatever it took to keep Ohtani. But even at that point, it's like, what's the point? You're giving out, you have two guys making $1 billion combined, and then the rest of the team is making like $10, So they don't have talent on the MLB team. They don't have talent in the farm system. If they were smart, they would trade Mike Trout right now. Right now, not next year at the trade deadline,
right now.
Not next offseason, right now. I mean, they're already a couple years late, in my opinion. So they should have just blown everything up at the deadline last year. Honestly, they should have been like, you know what? If you want Ohtani, trade for him.
Yeah,
trade for him, and give us your best offer, and we'll see what we can do around the league. Dude, they would have gotten a king's ransom. I guarantee the Dodgers would have even stepped up with a hefty offer. The Giants definitely would have given you a fat offer. Logan Harrison, I think that's his name. Matt Harrison, no. What is it? It might be Logan Harrison. Their top pitching prospect. They probably would have offered him, like, you could have got some for him, and you can probably still get something for Mike Trout, but I don't know if they will be – I think they're going to be reluctant to move him and not get fair value back, even though technically it would be fair value because his contract's huge and his play isn't – he's not the player he once was. He's probably going to move out of center field soon, so that's going to hurt his value too. You might have to start DHing in a couple of years. So you can't really get much back for him. Like maybe a top 100 prospect, but honestly, I just don't know what he would go for in this day and age. I mean, Cody Bellinger's looking for $200-300 million. He's much younger than Mike Trout. I just think Mike Trout's kind of past it a little bit. He's definitely got the name. He can definitely still hit, but time's starting to run down on Mr. Mike Trout and his value. So yeah, I think they should just dump him right now.
Yeah, and I think you probably could get a good prospect, maybe a good player. You could probably still get some, but you're gonna have to shell out a little bit of money to pay off this contract a little bit because no one's just gonna take it straight up. You're not gonna get what you like you said, like you would have gotten maybe a few years ago before he had even signed this contract. Similar to Ohtani, they missed the boat on trading, getting rid of him. Getting something for him and cashing in on the asset when it was at its height. Now I think he's 32. He's not, he probably, if you're trading for him, he's still got a good 3-4 years left. Maybe 3 good years left in him. It's just basically if he stays healthy, he can still perform at a pretty good rate. What was it last year? He only played 119 games and he hit like 40 home runs. So.
Yeah.
I think he still can play a little bit. And obviously these last, I don't count, 2020 he played basically the whole year, but it was only a 60-game season. 2021 he was hurt the whole year. 119 in 2022, and then last year he kind of had that freakish wrist injury that really held him out a lot of those games, that Hamlet bone. So, and he did pretty good in 82 games. He hit 18 home runs, so it wasn't like he was horrible. He only hit 263, but I think the big thing with him is just kind of where would he go, who would want him, and what could they get for him. I think
it's time for him to go to Philly. Time to come home.
I do think that that is like the only team now that would be willing to kind of pay out for him, or not really like shell out, but like that he would be willing to go to, waive his no trade clause, that we would be willing to give stuff up. Maybe we give them a Castellanos, and a prospect, a Griff McGarry or something like that, and maybe another kind of lower level prospect, and just call it a day. I don't think, you just kind of said, and I agree, I don't think he's going to go for that much. So it's basically what would be the level that they would want, to give up. But I know he used to be like a Yankee fan or something like that, and the Yankees just got Juan Soto, so I don't think that they would really want to go out and, pay the money and pay all the prospects that they just gave up to get a Mike Trout. So I don't really see where else he would wind up or would want to go.
Dodgers.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see.
Why not?
Really, why not? The Dodgers are just, maybe they could kind of restructure and defer his contract too, and they'll just defer everything.
Ken Rosenthal just tweeted a couple things. Apparently, in Ohtani's contract, player will donate to club charity amount not to exceed 1%. Whatever that means. Also gives him a suite at Dodger Stadium for all regular and postseason games and provides for his interpreter. Contract also states, if specific change in Dodger personnel, player may opt out of contract at end of season, the change occurs. That's wild. So there's no opt-outs in his deal, but I don't know
maybe
what
if they
personnel
sell
that refers
the team
to.
Or something?
Yeah, maybe if Andrew Friedman, the GM, steps down, he can be like, you know what? I'm leaving at the end of the year. That's fucking crazy. Just like
I've never heard of that
pop. Yeah, me either. And also, donating to the club charity. Sure, whatever. It seems like he is close to ownership. It seems like they're doing what the Braves do and launder money. So who knows?
Did you do you think the Juan Soto going to the Yankees is a big deal? That kind of seems like a natural fit for Juan Soto and just the Yankees in general.
Yeah, I like it. It's definitely good for them. They didn't give up too much. They still need to get rid of that long hair, facial hair rule that they do. It's pretty stupid. I think players don't want to go to New York because of it, is what I've heard. So all in all, they're making the right moves. I think they need to get Yamamoto. One of the New York teams has to get him just for optics alone. Not even, I don't think he would necessarily turn them into a World Series team of them or the Mets, but for optics alone, they need to get a big name. That's the big name. They traded for Soto, but they need to make a huge signing. But I don't even know if they're, I guess we'll see. Yamamoto is the big name, and after that, I don't know who else they're really in on. I don't think Hader or Bellinger or any of them, but we'll see. We'll see. I'd love to see the Yankees make a panic move and give Bellinger like $300 million, which is just insane that he's asking for that. But yeah, huge. All in all, I'm sure Yankees fans are down in the dumps in general. But getting Soto is huge. I mean, if you can get Soto and Judge, even if it's not prime Judge, or even if it is just for a couple years, that's a huge two-piece tandem duo,
lefty,
whatever you want to say.
That
awesome. So good. Also, the great thing about Ohtani, he's a lefty. We don't really have many lefties in the lineup. So, yeah, huge for the Yankees. So good for them.
Yeah, so maybe the stove will continue to heat up a little bit. We'll have some more info, news, and information next week. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Hot Take Hot Box, and we will have a full UFC 296. Yes, yep. 296 breakdown. Colby Covington is trying to get the undisputed belt for the third time. He is facing Leon Rocky Edwards. Look at me now. So that'll be a great. This is a great card overall. You have a Josh Emmett and Bryce Mitchell on the prelims, I'm pretty sure. And there's
last second throw together fight. Love that.
There's a lot of fights on this card that are just very exciting. So we will get into that.
I guess we're opening the card with Randy Brown, Muslim Salikov. That's a good way to start a card. That's fucking solid, man. So Tajir Ulanbekov, Cody Durden, that should be nasty. Jacoby Menafield, Casey O'Neill, Ariane Lipsky. Now, if that's not a pants off fight, I don't know what is. So, Arene Aldana, my girl's back. So, dude, I'm going to have pants at the ankles, the shins, on the chandelier.
Jeez.
Cody Garbrandt, I didn't even know he was back. Yeah. Is he going to get knocked out by Brian Keller? Be honest.
He might. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but we're going to have some picks, predictions, props, info, anything you need to know. We're going to tell you the last dump the guy took. On I think Thursday is going to be the episode we'll drop. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Hot Take Hot Box. My name is Matt McSweeney.
I'm Ty Capone. And as always, everybody, go out of your way and wish Taylor Swift a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, T. Swift.